Good morning. I just got done listening to Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Man's Best Friend. It is okay. I'm disappointed, to be totally honest. I like Sabrina Carpenter. Um, Unfortunately, this album feels like her team wanted her to crank out another album to follow up the success of Short and Sweet. I took notes on every single one of the songs. There are 12. And right off the bat, I'm going to say I don't feel like there needed to be 12. I feel like I don't want to seem like a hater, and this is just my personal opinion. I'm not like a fucking music critic or some kind of professional or anything. This is just my opinion as somebody who likes pop music. I don't mean to be a hater. I'm not going to trash this album, but whatever. So I'm going to read you the notes that I took for each song. Manchild. I liked it more than I thought I would because TikTok blew up the worst part of the song, and it was surprisingly reminiscent of Miley Cyrus's album Younger Now. Tears. Felt like an Ariana Grande song in a good way, but also felt like some shit you'd hear at a Forever 21 and like it, so you Shazam it, and then when you listen to it later, it's not really super good. It was just helping curate a vibe in the Forever 21. My Man on Willpower. This song was very confusing to listen to, and it kind of sounded like somebody got a bunch of new sound packs in GarageBand and got overly excited to use them, so they just wanted to use all their new loops at the same time in one song. If you held a gun to my head and asked me to identify the different instruments used in this song, I would not be able to. It doesn't really sound like instrumentals, it just kind of sounds like a bunch of sounds. That being said, the song is not bad, it just clearly didn't know what it wanted to be. Sugar Talking. This is somehow my favorite song so far, but also very forgettable. There's nothing particularly striking about this one. If it came up in my playlist, I wouldn't skip it, but I wouldn't save it either. If I heard it in public, I would enjoy it, but I wouldn't Shazam it to find it later. It's a good song and I enjoyed it, but it doesn't have any staying power for me. We Almost Broke Up Again last night. Feels like a filler song, very neutral on it. This song made me notice that I feel like Sabrina doesn't really convey a lot of emotion in her voice. I can't tell if she's happy or sad about the breakup. This comes up, once I realized this for the song, that idea keeps coming up, where I'm like, this could have been, even with the wacky instrumentals that feel all over the place, or boring, there was just something missing for me, even with the songs that I did like. And I think it was that. Like, she's such a good singer, and, like, you can feel some of her personality in her voice, but there's just something there that's not clicking for me. And I'm gonna say it's not clicking for me. I'm not gonna say it's a her problem, I'm gonna say it's a me problem. It's not her fault that I'm not connecting with her, if that makes sense. Nobody's Son. This song feels like somebody all of a sudden realized this album was sounding way too similar and tried to write a song that sounded different from the others, and they almost succeeded, but not quite. For whatever reason, I feel like this song sounds like a Taylor Swift song, and that I'd rather listen to it if it was a Taylor Swift song. I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe that's because I haven't really liked the instrumentals on this album so far, and I feel like Taylor would do it differently. I don't know. A lot of these songs were like so close to landing for me, but there was just something not right. Like, I want a different producer on this album. Never Getting Laid. This is my official favorite song so far, and I think it's the only other one besides Manchild that I think I would actually listen to again. I desperately wish that the instrumentals were more interesting. First song where I could possibly describe the lyrics as being witty. When Did You Get So Hot? Genuinely mad that I had to trudge through 7 nearly identical sounding songs to get to this one. This is the first song in the album that actually sounds different from the others, reminiscent of early 2000s Christina Aguilera. Genuinely quite like this one. This song did actually upset me when I heard it, because I was like, why is this buried beneath 7 other songs? Like, I'm actually mad. Why wasn't this the single that came out? Whatever. Go-Go Juice. Why is it country? What is happening? Also, I feel like this album could have benefited from some features. It needs something to break up the sameness. Don't Worry, I'll Make You Worry. I think this is supposed to be inspired by country ballads, ? I think maybe, I don't know, this whole album is like pop music with random banjo plucking in the way background. First song that I got almost to the end and then just skipped because I knew nothing interesting was going to happen. House Tour. Interesting instrumentals, feels sort of 80s like. Goodbye. Feels ABBA inspired, or like it definitely I think is trying to invoke ABBA, but it's not getting me grooving like ABBA does. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm not mad at the song. The instrumentals are fun, which is the only song on the album that I can say that about. Alright, that's it. That's the whole album. That being said, this album is frustrating because, like, it's almost there. There's a bunch of songs that I feel like are filler, and I don't really get why they're there. I thought that the album being called Manchild and the cover would make sense once I heard the whole album, and I'm gonna say, I don't get it. I know the concept of an album being a cohesive piece of art has sort of been lost in the new age. People aren't really putting out albums anymore that are like thematically the same and telling stories, and like people are still doing that, but it's fallen out of fashion a little bit. This album, more than others, really just feels like a random collection of singles. This feels like a backlog where they're just like, yeah, we got a bunch of these laying around, let's put it on an album. I don't know, I don't want to be a hater because I like Sabrina Carpenter, and this album isn't bad. I'm not like cringing listening to it. I think it's frustrating because it has potential. You ever watch a movie and you're like, oh, they should have picked another actor for this, or like, oh, just this one thing is wrong. Like, this could have been so good. That's how I feel about this album. It needed maybe different instrumentals, or maybe a different producer, or maybe it needed to be mixed differently. I don't know, but just something about it missed the mark for me personally. I feel bad. I feel bad. And the thing is, Short and Sweet had such a theme, like, with the outfits on tour, and like, it was almost 50s inspired, and I thought she was going to lean harder into that. And I feel like this album doesn't have an identity. Like, I kept thinking, okay, are we like almost country? Like, I kept thinking of Miley Cyrus's Younger Now, where it was like almost country, but then it backed off. It didn't fully commit to the country, and I can't figure out what this album is trying to be. Unfortunately, this album does not have staying power for me. I am probably only going to listen to that one song again. I don't even remember what it was called. When Did You Get So Hot? That song I will be listening to again on purpose. Maybe Manchild too. The rest of them, I don't know. But this all being said, when Espresso came out, I did not get it. I didn't think it was a good song. I thought it was boring. And then it really grew on me. And I had to like get into it. So maybe this album will do that for me too. Yeah, unfortunately, this one is just okay, in my opinion. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not trying to be a big hater. This is just what I think. So, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye-bye.